My name is Aleisha Brooks, and I write screenplays and novels and shorts and poetry and lyrics, and I've won awards for speeches. I've been on the radio 3 times. I've been on TV, television studios twice. I've produced and directed my own shorts and music videos, and I'm also self-published. So I just want to thank you again for joining me, and tonight I want to kind of go over what we're going to learn and some exercises and some strategies that will help you to remove obstacles, okay, from your writing, and I hope to help you grow. Because that's my purpose for being here with you, is I want to see all of you grow. What I want you to learn tonight is these 5 things. I want you to get your...
Can you read it out?
Sure. Your sense of purpose as a writer. Okay, number 1, your sense of purpose as a writer. I want you to have energy, enthusiasm, and inspiration towards your future as a writer. Okay, those are super key. I want you to understand the difference between suppressors, right? Suppressors and uplifters. I want you to really be able to spot them, okay? Because as a writer, and especially as an artist, we have these things in our lives, and we need to spot them and root them out, okay? I want you to know how and when to write, and I want you to be able to do so. I want you to be able to do so at that moment. And then the final thing is I want you guys to be able to self-troubleshoot, okay? To actually be able to troubleshoot yourself when you cannot write, when there's a wall there. I don't want you to be able to even stop yourself, which a lot of us do. So I want you to conquer that. What is self-criticism? And we were just talking about this. This is the thing that I actually want you to write down on your definition sheet. And the reason why I want you to write it down, because I really want you to get it. It's so important. And when you write things down, usually they stick. Okay? Self-criticism is simply all the pent up, outside criticism you've ever received. Only now you are using it to stop yourself.
Yeah, you replace your mother and father.
So write it down. All the pent up, outside criticism you've ever received. Only now you're using it to stop yourself. You are using it on you. And why do you do that?
Feels familiar?
Yeah, right? So you can, this is the interesting part about it, is you make yourself right by saying, I can't do it. Yourself right. Anytime you actually say to yourself that you're no good, and then you decide to be no good by not writing and by not finishing, you just made yourself right. I can't do it. Okay, I'm not going to leave the house. Well, I'm right. See, I didn't leave the house. I'm right. Okay, now I want to ask you guys something. What are the criticisms that you hear or that you expect to hear which make you anxious or unable to write?
Well, my father would constantly say, you're not good enough, as he was beating me, or actually he burned me also, so that's really stuck inside me.
There you go. Right?
And my mother was a comedian, and she kept on stopping doing her comedy work, so I saw her as a role model of not succeeding. So I had 2 parents who were very dysfunctional.
Okay. Anyone else have some criticisms that they've heard or that they feel,
A lot of things I'm fearful of are it's boring.
Okay.
It doesn't pertain, it's stupid. It's unnecessary or something like that, I just make me not want to move forward with it, or you'll fail.
Okay. It's boring. You'll fail. I don't want to move forward. Right? You're no good. It's not good enough, it's boring. Those criticisms. Does anyone else have those same kind of internal criticisms going on when they're writing? Can I, and how about you? Anything that comes to mind?
Usually, you never done anything before. You are not a professional, and I'm not a native speaker. And what do you know about writing?
What do you know about writing? You're not a professional. Interesting, this day and age, self-publishing is out the roof,
Oh, yeah.
right? You're not a professional. I mean, this 50 Shades woman, 3 movies, right?
The book I heard was great, the movie, but that's
Well,
not starting out.
Even so,
She still did it. Still
from
did
what
it.
I know, the book, I won't read it, you know, not my cup of tea, terrible. But
Harry Potter. Wow.
Harry Potter, she took ages and ages, and she never thought she was good enough. But this is the deal. You can look at someone like that who's done 50 Shades of Grey and look at her success. And somebody probably told her, well, you're not a professional. But she was like, oh, you know, I'm doing it anyway, screw you, right? This is the thing. Self-publishing is hot. It is not going away. So thank you guys. Thank you for all of your self-criticisms.
Oh, I got more.
Oh,
I got plenty
I'm
more.
sorry.
Can I just add
I got so more I can't.
Katie, I just want to add something to piggyback off of what she just said, and there's an audience for everything. So even if you think something's boring, you'd be surprised.
But even then, I want to tell you there are solutions to that, because I don't want you writing something if you're bored with it.
Right.
I want you to be flying through it because you're laughing, or you're, oh my God, I love this, it's incredible. It should make you feel good. If you're sitting there bored, there's something wrong. All right, now, I want you to give it a little admiration. Like it. Give it a little bit of admiration. Ah, I love my fear. Come on, give it a little admiration.
I love it.
Okay.
I love my
Little,
foot down.
good. Little golf clap. Yay, fear. Golf clap. Thank you, fear. Okay, very nice. Good job. Now, why are we admiring it? Do you know why?
Keeps us safe.
This is what's
Exposes.
interesting about it. Yeah. So what were you going to say?
Exposes it.
Good. That's very
Bring it to
good.
life.
Here's the other thing. Who has the power? You or your non-corporeal fear? Right? Your fear is not a person. It's not a body.
Feels real sometimes.
Sure. But who has the power?
Should be me.
Right. Well, who's writing? You or your fear?
Me.
That's right.
Actually.
Right, sure.
So-
No, especially as a writer, you need to know the whole
Yes.
scale of emotions. You need to know it.
Yes, that's
And you
that's
can
what
acknowledge
I
it
meant
and
by
understand it.
I need,
Good. I just don't want you to need it physically.
but it
Because
doesn't-
here's
if
something.
it takes a hold of you, then it's never good.
Yeah, so
Right.
here's where that comes in. You guys, you've wrapped yourself in it. You've had it on top of your shoulders. You've cuddled with it. You know, my fear, oh, it's so comfortable. It's because it is
Yeah.
comfortable sometimes. It's like, well, I don't really need to do that right now because I can't.
Then I cannot
It's
fail.
okay.
I've got
I
fail.
cannot
yeah.
fail because I'm unable. You
No one's
know?
gonna love me.
Yeah, it's okay, you know.
Well-
You see it and you know what it is and you know what it's not. And what I'm trying to invoke here is you know it's not you. The fear, the anxiety, the stop, the things that actually stop you are not you. You know what it is, you've seen it, you've felt it. That is not you. So that's why I say, throw it away.
Yeah, sure.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, your mission is to be the best artist you can be and have a positive impact on this world, okay? Because that is our responsibility as artists and as writers. You have unique offerings to this world, very unique. I mean, think of some of the books that you've read that have influenced your life. That was written by a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that have prevented wars and some of the things that have made people think, wow, we're going in the wrong direction, those things were written by writers. Writers are some of the most important people on this planet. And the reason is because you have the ability to inspire hope, love, future inventions, solutions. You have the ability to warn of the misguidedness of war and of hate, and you can inspire, teach, give, instruct, inform, and help. Mission. Now, what did you do when you got writer's block? Did anyone binge watch Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. Did anyone eat a gallon of ice cream?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Activity.
there you go. Anybody just go to sleep?
Yep.
Yeah, I done that.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Did anybody read a book about writing when they stopped writing?
Ooh.
I tried.
Yes.
I have lots of books. I bought a book.
Okay. We touched upon some potential causes, but writer's block is basically something that just stops you. It's like I mean, it's almost like a physical object. Okay, because if you treat it like a physical object, it'll be a physical object. So, there's something about making a living. Everybody wants to make a living, or is there anybody here who's just philanthropical and wants to spend all their money writing books for people? No?
No.
Okay, everybody wants to make a living here?
Yeah.
Everybody likes money?
Money, nice.
Everybody good?
Good money.
Want money? Money? You want money? You want money? You want money? Good, good. You want money? Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Okay, now, so there's another problem.
Well, money,
If you
success,
want-
and emotional fulfillment also.
Yeah, of course. The fulfillment is first.
Yeah.
Money comes after fulfillment, that's the point. If you want to make a living in writing, you have to write. But if you're not making a living, you don't have time to write. There's the catch-22, right?
Mhm.
Right? So here's how we're going to break that up, okay? First of all, I want you guys to visualize your space, okay? You can close your eyes, you can keep your eyes open, but I want you to visualize your writing space. This writing space is yours and yours alone. No one can come into your writing space, not your kids, not your family, not your mom, not anyone that you want out of your writing space. You have a writing space that is your sacred spot. And I want you to visualize what that looks like for you. Writing since the age of 7. I've always known I was going to be a writer. There was a few things that, delayed me on the way, but I have been writing shorts, as I mentioned, screenplays, books, novels, poetry, lyrics. When I was 13, actually, I'll tell you, in the 6th grade, I wrote 2 children's books.
Wow.
When I was 13, I had written 300 pages of poetry and lyrics. That was in less than a year. I started my first ever screenplay when I was 13. At 15, I submitted a book to editors and publishers, and of course, what happened, I got that fateful letter. It was like, no thank you, but no thank you. And of course the pain, the humiliation, the rejection. It's like, oh, and here I am, 15, like I'm starting my writing career, I think, and I get a rejection, and it does not feel good. And of course that starts to become part of me as well. And if you adopt this stuff, it becomes your self-criticism, right? So you can imagine the frustration, right? So here I am, I'm a teenager. What have I got? I got hormones, right? Teenage hormones, frustration, and I have an indefinite future in what I feel like is my calling. right? So despite feeling inconsequential, I held on to that feeling. The one feeling that I knew was still me, which was I was a writer. The one thing I held on to, okay? So I wanted to write, I wanted to be a writer, I wanted to be read, I wanted to have written, I want my work to get out there and be something, right? So that's what I held on to. So my journey wasn't over. I just kept writing, I kept learning the craft. You know, I did workshops, I did classes, I read books, magazines, scripts. Anybody read scripts in here? Good.
Yeah.
Good? Good. Well, you're new. You're forgiven. Self-doubt. So listen, the self-doubt and the other paths that were kind of like thrown in front of me, like they were kind of peppered throughout my life, you know. And they took me on detours and adventures, and some of those adventures and detours were of my own choosing. And that happens, you know. Sometimes it was the self-doubt. But the things that I wanted, you know, the thing that I really wanted, that and those things were what made me into the person I am.
I understand the doubt.
Sure, that's
doubt.
another self-doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Indecision.
Very good.
Indecision
Understand.
is simply a way to stop yourself. Indecision. Because what is indecision? Is indecision this?
No.
No. What is it? It's this. You haven't decided. It's a stop. Any no's are stops. Any yeses create flows because they go, right? Okay, good. There's a secret breakthrough that happened, and I'm going to share it with you, and we're going to like really hit this hard. There is a saying that life happens, right? Life happens. You go along and you agree with it. You agree with it. You agree with living conservatively. I'm okay. I'm right here. I'm fine. I'm alive. I have a job. I'm comfortable. Right? Que sera, sera. What will be, right? Conservatively. You live day to day and you get along just fine, and so you're not making an argument against it, and you just agree with it. It's all about agreement, right? So you're content to live this
Boring life.
conservative, boring life. Like, oh, nothing exciting happens, but that's okay because I'm really nervous when exciting things happen because I'm really like, you know, what if a publisher actually called me? What would I do? What if I got published? Oh my God, what if I got famous? Oh my God, people would be stalking me. Oh my God, what if I had money? Oh no. If I had money, that would be horrible. I'd be like those other people who have money. Oh no. But I really got money. Indecision, right? Okay, so listen, I did this for a while, right? I was like conservative, and I was like living life and say life happens. I did this. I did it. I know. But then one day I said, oh wow, I see what I'm doing. I totally disagree. I disagree with what's happening. Yeah, I disagree. So that's the secret. This is the secret that changed my life for good, okay? Because what I realized was I was going along this nice and easy path, and when I really looked at it and I took a very good look at what was actually happening, I realized it was all smoke and mirrors, right? It wasn't actually easy. It wasn't easy because I wasn't living my best life. I wasn't having a good time. I wasn't having fun, so I was trudging through life. So it's not actually easy. I've been like totally duped. Yeah, I wasn't enjoying it, and I wasn't being me, right? If you're not being you, who the heck are you being? Right?
Your father and mother.
Could be, could be. Or the guy that just cut you off on the road, you're suddenly being him. Now you're pissed because he cut you off. Now you're gonna cut the next guy off. You're being him.
That's me. I do that sometimes.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Now you've seen
I am
it.
not.
Okay.
Not here.
You've identified it. So listen, I had this breakthrough, I disagreed, and after that, I wrote my very first screenplay in 3 weeks. Boom, done, 3 weeks. Okay, and I can tell you, right now, that's not even impressive, because last September, I wrote a brand new screenplay in 4 days.
Cuba.
Yeah, boom, it can be done. It can be done, okay? So then, after that, I picked up a novel that had been sitting in my drawer. It had been sitting in my drawer for years. And I finished it, and then I turned it into a screenplay as well.
That's good, yeah. And
So there you
audiobook
go.
too, also.
Yeah, you can do so much now. And it's such a beautiful screenplay. And then I did another one, and another one, and another one.
Hoo-yah!
And now I'm working with a screenwriter in South Africa, and we're doing our first animated film, which I never thought I could do an animation. I always wondered, well, could I do an animation? Like, it seems so complicated. You know, and there's my self-doubt. Oh, you're not experienced in animation. Like, no. So we're doing it, and it's bloody fantastic.
Yep.
So there you go. So I took massive amounts of energy because I was so energetic after this. Okay, this is what I want you to be. This is pure energy right here. I took massive amounts of energy and I put it towards positive creativity. That's what we're trying to do here. Okay, I want you to take massive amounts of energy and put it towards your positive creativity. Don't take massive amounts of energy and put it towards your self-doubt. Don't do that. Don't go, oh my God, I'm terrible, I'm boring, I can't do it, I'm not professional. That's massive amounts of energy towards the wrong thing. So I really want you to take massive amounts of energy and put it towards positive creativity, okay? So yeah, I made the short films and music videos, which I love to make music videos. And of course, as you know, many years ago, the net was growing by leaps and bounds, and we had YouTube, and YouTube was like going crazy, and so I jumped on that bandwagon, and you know, at my prime, I got about 500,000 views on some of my videos on YouTube, and then of course, they got bought by Google, and so all of us like first comers of YouTube were kind of like pushed down unless we were paying, so I was not going to pay. So again, that was another like, kick in the gut.
But a million
You know,
views, that would have gotten you
half-
something, right?
I did, I got some money,
Good.
yeah. I got some money out of it,
Mhm.
yeah. It was nice.
Mhm.
So what I did then was I started to help other people. I started to help actors, writers, you know, other people who wanted to be artists. And one of the actresses that I helped, actually after spending some time with me in coaching, she was, you know, she was a shy, like she didn't know where she fit in. And after just a little bit of coaching with me, she gets every single gig she goes out for. Every single gig. Now, she's an actor, but we share similar traits. We're artists. For now, I want to ask a little bit of your story, and we talked about this. Here's what I want to do because of time, is maybe you've already done this, but you can tell me. I want you to pair up real quick and just tell each other what your story is. Why do you want to be a writer? You guys, when you are being something, you're putting on that hat.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking the responsibility of that beingness. Okay, because it is a responsibility. And when you walk out the door from, you know, your house and you go to work at a bank or at a dental office or you go to school, you're not being a writer. You're being a banker, you're being the dental technician, you're being the shopper,
Waitress.
you're being the waitress, you're being the student. It's a hat. You're putting it on the hat.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's beingness. It's very simple. It's not complicated. You be, and you can decide to be anything you want. Okay, you be. Do. So do, we get into do.
Thank you, back
You have to be doing what a writer does. If you decide that's what I want to be, you're putting on your writer's hat, you're going to do what a writer does. A writer writes. A writer doesn't chew on his pen and never get a word out. A writer writes, okay? And we've heard this before. It's like basically cliche, a writer writes, and people, oh, boring, you know, a writer writes. But no, it's serious. This is serious. This is a writer writes. Would you guys appreciate a fireman who didn't put out fires? Would you appreciate a surgeon who decided, I just don't want to do the surgery today?
No.
You know, a writer writes. Why can't we be serious? Why can't we take it serious, like a serious job? Was it like the self-doubt, the self-criticism that came in from, you know, parents or aunts or uncles or teachers saying to you, a writer, you're going to starve. Writers starve, really? Tell that to J.K. Rowling. I don't think she's starving. But there's this phrase out there, the starving artist. Filmmakers. Filmmakers should not be starving, right? Artists. So, seriously, if you're going to do it, we talked about massive amounts of energy, right? If you're going to do it, do it. Don't do anything half-assed. Don't do anything at 80%. Do it at 100%. If you're going to do it, put on the hat and do it. You know, and get into your writing space, the space that you created that is supposed to be your private zone, and you get in there and you put your attention on it and you write.
Yeah.
Serious stuff.
I gotta copy you on that.
Copy me, take it.
Yes.
It's yours, boom, I give it to you. What does a writer have? Because honestly, society tells you that a writer has nothing. Writers die poor, you know, they're broke. They usually commit suicide and they drink a lot. Writers are all crazy, right? We're all crazy. You know, I mean, I go outside over here and put on a clown hat and, you know, walk around clucking like a chicken because I'm crazy, because I'm a
I used to have
writer.
that costume, actually.
Yeah, well, there you go. See, apparently we're crazy.
right.
So listen, this is the thing, is we want to have what writers have, but the whole concept of what writers have is bull. Okay, I can say bullshit, right? Bullshit. It's bull. I disagree. Writers are not all drunks. Doesn't matter that Hemingway was amazing and he was a drunk. Does that automatically mean that I go out and I go, okay, I'm going to be just like Hemingway? Bring on the alcohol! Right? That doesn't make you a writer. Actually, drugs and alcohol stunts your creativity. It stops you from being creative. I don't care if the Beatles at some point entered like some kind of mystical state and like, you know, their songs about LSD. You know, the creativity came from them, not from the drugs. It will always come from you. Always. Drugs are an outside influence, but you can be as creative as you want, and you don't need drugs or alcohol. Never, ever. You don't. You don't, because creativity comes from you. You are in charge. You're the one that actually makes it happen. You guys are cause over that particular creation. When you write your book or your screenplay, you don't say, oh yeah, the marijuana created that. No, you take full credit. I created that. I mean, you're damn right. You did create that. You did. Not the marijuana, not the LSD, not the alcohol or the margaritas, you know. Yeah. So if you want to have what a writer has, you need to do what a writer does, which means you need to be a writer. This works forwards and backwards. 5 vital actions. This is the thing. I want you to note this down. 5 vital actions. The first one is research. Research is your first vital action. Okay? So the reason why research is your first vital action is because no knowledge means no control. When's the last time you wrote about the space station? You didn't, right? You don't know anything about the space station, do you? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Oh,
yes?
Oh. Yeah.
See, I pointed to her though. I didn't point to you.
Did we in sync?
Because he has knowledge of the space station, so he can write about the space station. No knowledge means no control. He's writing about comedy because he knows about comedy. Okay, so no knowledge means no control over what you write. You can get into this kind of like dilettante, bullshit your way through type method, okay? Because when you don't know about something that you have to write about, it's like you're back in school, so you're kind of bullshitting your way through. And you take that method and you wear it and you write it as a professional writer. You kind of bullshit your way through it, and it's a method that some people do. But the thing is, readers know the difference. They do. Readers know the difference. They know when someone has lived something, or at least knows about something, and when someone is bullshitting them. Readers know. Readers know. Okay? So very important that you do your research. You can live something, you know. Life experience is the second one. So research, and then the second one is life experience. You have life experience. That's very, very important. So anything, like we were talking about, you know, a life experience, a divorce. A divorce, if you're writing about a divorce and you've had a divorce, that's a life experience. You might actually help people with your life experience about your divorce, right? So, but you say, hey, I'm writing science fiction. You still need research, you read, you study, you're writing sci-fi, you read a whole mountain of Scientific American, right? Or you go on the Space Shuttle website and you watch their cam, and you look and you're like, wow, okay, what does a space shuttle look like from on the inside? Or you go to the Mars cam and you're like, oh man, what's Mars about? I want to write about Mars, you know? You read, you look at books. This is the thing, you look. This is a big thing, look. Some people don't actually look. They see, but they're not really looking because they're just seeing right through you. Like I actually can see this guy cleaning that thing, so I'm not really looking at him. It looks like I'm looking at you, but I'm not really looking at you, right? Okay, good. So, you know, you can get comfortable. What I want you to do, and this is you will get comfortable in the mind of a NASA engineer if you do enough research. You are the pilot of the space shuttle, you know. You are an alien in space, right? You're gonna conquer Earth, you know. Get enough knowledge about that arena and you can be that character that you're researching. You can be it. Because when you are being it, boy, the stuff flows, the writing flows, the lines flow, the action flows. The reason why I was able to write a screenplay in 4 days is because I was each and every one of those characters. And I'll tell you what, I made myself laugh and I made myself cry. And if you can do that, oh boy. Why do you laugh and why do you cry? Because you're eliciting emotion, you're creating an emotional impact. And the emotional impact is really important, and we're going to talk about that. But you want to be able to create that character, whether it's a Nazi killer or whether it's a cowboy. Third important thing, and we talked about this, your own space. Super important. Create it. If you don't have your own space, please go home and create it. Create it. Make it yours. And do only writing in that space. And if you only have one small space and you have to eat there and you have to watch TV there and you have to do something else there, at least remove all your writing stuff when you're doing other things. And then recreate it when you're doing the writing. I want you to have a specific time and a specific place that's just yours for writing. And you're not going to watch Netflix when you're writing. You're not being a watcher when you're writing. You're being a writer. It's your activity. Okay? So your own space, super important. Okay, that fourth thing is planning. Planning is your plot, your theme, your synopsis, your characters, your traits, your universe. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Your planning is your plot, meaning your theme. A theme could be blood is thicker than water. And the theme blood is thicker than water means that family is more together, more important than non-blood, non-relations. So, doesn't matter if it doesn't, if you don't believe it. It's a theme. It is a theme. You can make any theme you want. It is going to be the running theme through your whole script, movie, song, etc. Planning, plot, theme, synopsis, characters, traits, and your universe. Then the last theme, very important, once upon a time. Yep, you are going to sit down and write. You're going to write, okay? You are going to sit down and write.